Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas. And today, we're going to challenge pretty much everything you think you know about being tidy.
I mean, come on, be honest. Have you ever felt that little pang of guilt looking at the clutter on your desk? We live in an age that just celebrates decluttering and simplification, where a clean desk is seen as the ultimate sign of a productive mind. This pressure to be perfectly organized is literally everywhere. You see it in minimalist home design. You hear about it in corporate clean desk policies. But what if it's not the only way to be effective?
Well, we're about to explore a super counterintuitive idea from a man who has, and I mean this literally, written the book on it. He's challenging this whole modern trend to declutter and simplify absolutely everything.
This is Tim Harford. He's an economist and a journalist, and he argues that far from being a problem, messiness can actually be a superpower for creativity and for success.
But here's the key. When Herco says messy, he doesn't just mean physical clutter like a bunch of papers. Nope, he's talking about something much, much broader.
For him, messiness is all about things like improvisation, distraction, multitasking, ambiguity, and even imperfection. It's all the stuff in our lives we can't easily organize or script out, the very things that, let's face it, often make us feel anxious or unproductive. These are the elements that you just can't fit into a neat little box.
Just think about it for a second. The conventional wisdom is always focused on one thing at a time. But Harford points out that tons of creative people juggle multiple projects. When they hit a wall on one of them, they switch to another, and that allows their subconscious to keep working on the problem. It often leads to a breakthrough. It's a messy strategy that just works.
And this brings us right back around to physical mess. Let's take a look at the classic messy desk, which might not be a sign of chaos at all. It might actually be a highly evolved system.
So Harford contrasts a super tidy filing system, where things can get filed away and basically lost forever, with a messy desk. And he says that messy desk is actually a highly functional, self-organizing system. See, the piles aren't random. They're a physical representation of your workflow.
The logic behind it is actually pretty simple. First off, what you're working on tends to stay on top. Second, you get these constant physical reminders of what needs to get done, unlike some hidden digital list. And third, all that stuff at the bottom you never touch, well, that's probably what can be tossed out. It's a system. And hey, if you still feel guilty, consider this. Even one of history's most organized and successful people, Benjamin Franklin, was famously messy. And he felt bad about it, just like we do. So Harford's point is, maybe we can all just cut ourselves some slack.
Okay, so does this mean we should just let chaos reign, abandon all our systems, and start throwing papers in the air? Harford says no, not at all.
He's really clear that he's generalizing here. He's talking about averages. If you have a super tidy system that genuinely works for you, that's awesome. The goal isn't to force mess on everyone.
The key is really to recognize the difference between a functional mess and a truly dysfunctional one that just gets in your way. And Harford also warns against applying these super rigid, organized systems in situations that demand flexibility, because that's a whole different kind of messiness that's actually harmful.
So what's the ultimate lesson from all this? Should we all just aim to be a little bit messier?
Well, Harford's argument is really just a nudge. Think of it as an invitation to experiment with a bit more improvisation, a little more ambiguity, and even some disruption. We might be surprised by the creativity and effectiveness that it unlocks.
So the next time you look at that pile of papers on your desk or your habit of jumping between projects, maybe don't see a failure of organization. Instead, just ask yourself if it might be a system that is actually working perfectly for you. Thanks for joining this explainer.